What's up everybody, guys? Here. Welcome back to another video, and this is my AEW Fyter Fest Night 2 reactions. I'm following on from last week's Night 1 show, which was, as I said in my review of that, an all-time episode of AEW Dynamite. We had a lot to try and outdo that show, and they did pretty well. It was another fantastic show. A lot of big surprises, stuff that I didn't really see coming happening. And that's, yeah, so it made for a very good show. Let's not waste time, let's get into it. But before we do get into the review, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well, and let me know in the comment section below what you thought of this AEW Dynamite Fyter Fest Night 2. And yeah, the show kicks off Chris Jericho defeating Shawn Spears, of course. The first, what were they calling it? The Laborers of Jericho. Of course, the stipulation was if Shawn Spears could use the chair, because of course he's the chairman. And yeah, Jericho got the win. I believe the finish was Spears had him up for a C4. Jericho pushes him off headfirst into the chair in the corner, and Judas effect. And you know, it's always one of those things in wrestling. Someone can't use this, but someone can. But the person who's not allowed to use it always ends up using it to get the win anyway. But you could make the argument, well, Jericho didn't swing it, he just pushed him. The chair just happened to be there, so that's why the referee let him away with it. But, yeah, decent match, nothing really special. But yeah, it was a solid, fun TV match. And yeah, after the match, MJF gets on the mic and introduces us to the next Laborer of Jericho. It's Nick fucking Gage, MDK, all fucking day. The man, the king, the fucking god of this shit, Nick Gage, MDK is coming to AEW. He showed up to on Dynamite. Him versus Jericho, no DQ match next week. What is 2021? Nick bloody Gage. And yeah, it's, I cannot believe it. I did not see this coming. As you can probably tell by my reaction, I am a big Nick Gage fan. I do big GCW fan as well. I haven't really made videos on it. Maybe I might do a GCW predictions for Homecoming this weekend, because it is a stacked show. That is just me thinking on the fly. It's not a promise, but you know, maybe I will. So yeah, Nick Cage, NDK, all fucking day. I cannot wait for next week. Jericho Gage, it's going to be something special. So yeah, let's continue on. Miro had a promo just basically talking about his TNT title run and saying who's next. Frankie Kazarian then faces Doc Gallows. Surprisingly, I thought Frankie would get the win here, but Gallows picked up the win. Him and Anderson beat down Frankie after the match. And then out comes Kenny and Don Callis and all, basically talking about how Frankie is now, instead of the Elite Hunter, he is the Elite Hunted. But Hangman Page and the Dark Order Hangman comes out for the save. The numbers game, of course, is enough to beat down Hangman. Then the Dark Order come out to make the save for him. So yeah, just kind of building up again to that Dark Order versus the Elite match, where of course if Hangman and Dark Order win, Dark Order get a tag team title shot at the Bucks, and Hangman gets a shot at Kenny. Yeah, then there was a Team Taz promo just talking about Starks winning the FTW title and how they'll have a celebration next week, and Brian Cage had an interview basically reacting to what was said. So yeah, probably they'll have the celebration. Cage probably will interrupt next week. Then Darby Allin versus Wheeler Yuta. Again, fun match here. Darby, of course, getting the win with the coffin drop. Very fun spot in this match. Of course, Yuta had Orange Cassidy on the outside. Sting was with Darby as always. And Sting actually did the Darby kicks. He was doing the kicks to Darby, and he did the little chest beat like that. You know, low energy Sting chest beat. That what a moment. Yeah, Darby of course getting the win over Yuta. After the match, Blade jumps Orange Cassidy with the brass knucks. Of course, they have a match later on tonight, so just kind of leading into that. Then we got a kind of cut to it a bit during the match, but afterwards, shot of Hikuleo in the crowd. He was basically there because he's next in line for the IWGP US Championship, which surprisingly takes place next week. So Hikuleo, of course, the brother of Tamatonga and Tangaloa, son of Haku, makes his Dynamite debut, well, kind of tonight, as a member of the crowd. And he does confront the winner of the US title match later. But yeah, he'll be in action next week for the US Championship. So kind of excited to see Hikuleo on Dynamite. Yeah, I feel like it's been a while since I've seen him. So yeah, very interested to see that match. Especially who he's facing, we'll get into in a bit. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, successfully retaining the Women's Championship in the next match over Nyla Rose. Kind of expected, as I said, it was Britt's first title defense. So it was kind of obvious that she wouldn't lose the belt, but they did have a couple of near falls. Like Nyla, of course, kind of dominated it. Couple of close 2.9 counts where I was like, oh, maybe they are going to take the belt off Britt, but of course they didn't. I put out a tweet on my Twitter, link in the description to my Twitter account. I always forget to mention it, but I put out there was a spot where like they went to do the Eddie Guerrero spot, like Britt tries to like throw the belt at Nyla and go down. Nyla threw the belt back to Britt. The referee turns around and Britt's like, no, I didn't do it. But Britt should have been like, yeah, I did. I'm the champion. I can't lose the belt by disqualification. But no, she didn't. Of course, the referee couldn't see anything, and Britt was denying it. So he let it go. And yeah, it didn't matter in the end because Britt Baker, of course, the DMD, didn't need to cheat. She got the win just fine with the, I believe she tapped out to the lockjaw. So yeah, then there was just a FTR and Inner Circle, not Inner Circle, Pride and Powerful backstage segment, just basically kind of like a press conference hyping up next week's matchup, which should be a sick match. Two fantastic teams, big FTR and big Proud and Powerful fans, so that match should rule. Then Andrade El Idolo had a segment, and he introduced his new kind of like advisor. I can't remember the term. Let me see if I can find what they actually are calling him. The new executive consultant for Andrade El Idolo is none other than Chavo. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, Chavo Guerrero is in AEW now as the consultant to Andrade. Of course, then Death Triangle, Pentagon, El Zero Miedo, Rey Fenix, and Pac come out on the stage. Of course, last week Andrade was looking for him. They were kind of like, Andrade was kind of like, oh, do you want a team? And like Pac, Phoenix, and Pentagon were like, why would we team with you? And they kind of like stay down and kind of back off. Referees come in to break up a potential brawl. This will rule. Give me Andrade versus Pentagon, Andrade versus Phoenix, and Andrade versus Pac especially. 3 fantastic singles matchups you can get there. You could bring maybe Chavo wrestles and you can have a tag match. Maybe they bring in 2 or 3 or 1 or 2 people to team then in like 6-month trios action. So yeah, very exciting stuff that they can do there. A lot of potentially good matchups that I'm all for. So yeah, interested to see which direction they go there. Then there's kind of a recap of what happened on sorry, there's something in my eye. Kind of like at the dark taping, where the Hardy family office were beating down someone, and Christian Cage, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus came out to make the save. It might be Marco's stunt. Actually, now that it's yeah, probably was Marco. Yeah, it was Angelico and Private Party beating him down. Christian and Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy come out for the save, and Christian and the Jurassic Express cut from backstage, basically hyping up a 6-man tag for next week against Angelico and Private Party. Orange Cassidy then versus the Butcher. Not the Butcher, the Blade. I wish it was the Butcher. Not against the Blade, but the Butcher was just awesome, wasn't he? Can't wait for him to come back from injury. Yeah, so Orange Cassidy comes from behind Blade. Cassidy's music was playing. He didn't come out from the stage. And Blade was like, oh, I lifted my hand, I won. He's not coming. In from behind, from the crowd, in comes Orange Cassidy to take and to go after Blade. There's actually a 6 spot in this match. It was kind of like a gut wrench onto the top turnbuckle. Yeah, it's like a gut wrench powerbomb onto the bar across the top turnbuckle. And yeah, Orange Cassidy eventually gets the win over the Blade. And again, another solid TV match. Not really special, but also not really to complain about here. Solid matchup. And after the match, Cassidy gets the brass knucks. Orange Punch, giving the Blade a taste of his own medicine. Because of course the Blade was using the via knucks on Cassidy earlier and in previous weeks. Jericho backstage promo Alex Marvez, and he basically says to beat Nick Gage he needs to unleash the Painmaker, and he turns around to the camera. Of course, he has the makeup and all that he wore during his New Japan Painmaker run. So it's gonna be Painmaker versus Nick Gage next week. MDK versus Y2J, whatever you want to call him. But yeah, very excited for this. What is 2021? Nick Gage versus Chris Jericho. Video package recapping the whole Malachi Black Cody Rhodes feud. That match will take place in 2 weeks at what's the show to call it? Homecoming. Of course, they run that in Daly's Place after a year in Daly's Place. It's kind of like a big, they're going back after a couple of weeks away, just for one-off show before hitting the road again. Well, not really hitting the road again because they're still on the road, but they're just going back to Daly's Place for a week and then going again. Of course, still there'll be a crowd and all there. I'm just kind of rambling. Then they kind of run out down next week's card, which there's one thing I want to talk about. I will be doing the predictions for this as well next week because it is Fight for the Fallen and it's another big special TV event. So I will be doing the predictions for. So I'm not going to go into the card in detail. I just want to go on one thing, and that is Tony Khan will be making a huge announcement, and that huge announcement is if you've read the dirt sheets, or if you just not even reading the dirt sheets, just looking at Twitter and all, it looks like a big name has signed with AEW, and I'm not one that I normally don't get my expectations up, so I'm never let down. But I feel like if rumors are to be true, I think this is that signing, and it's going to be a game changer. Let's just say the final countdown to this announcement is on, and if you get that and you think it's like me, you know what I'm on about. Main event time. Jon Moxley defends the IWGP United States Championship against Archer. Of course, this is Archer's hometown, so he gets a big reaction. And a very fun match. If you watched the first Texas match in the Tokyo Dome, you'd know these two had a good match there, and they had another great match. There's barbed wire involved. There was tables, trash cans and all. Very, very good win, or good match. Archer surprisingly got the win. I didn't expect Archer to win here. But he did. The Murder Hawk Monster is once again IWGP US Champion. As I said in my predictions, I didn't see this coming. But Archer gets the win. New IWGP Champion. In comes Hikaru Leo. They kind of stare down, hyping up the match next week. And that's it. So yeah, another big episode of Dynamite. Another great episode. I'm very excited for next week, especially that announcement, if it is what I'm thinking it is. But yeah. That is it for this video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.